Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to another video, and I'm doing something really off the cuff. I was in bed and I couldn't really sleep, and so I'm thinking about what I want to do. And I've been thinking about my channel, and I've always wanted to do another channel about things outside of my hobby and stuff like that, but I didn't think that it was right, because am I that interesting? I don't know. Basically, it was a confidence thing, I suppose you could say. However, having said that, I like to think that I incorporated some of that in the chatettes that I do on my main channel. I want to do another channel which is basically just me talking crap about things that aren't necessarily games. What I've noticed is that when I do the chatettes, I tend to go off on tangents, and I tend to go into realms that aren't necessarily gaming related. And I figured that that isn't to everybody's tastes, although maybe it might be, I don't know. So what I want to do is I want to do something that's a bit different, that's about me, but different from me. The problem is that vlogs have been done to death. You know, everyone does vlog videos, staring at the camera high, you know, and all that kind of thing. I want to do ones about me and about where I'm going and what I'm doing, because I've got a lot on my mind at the moment, with my situation, life-wise, work-wise, generally everything. And I think that what I do with the games and stuff like that should stay with the games. I've had a lot of things going on in my life which I've kind of meshed into the gaming channel, which my excuse being that it affects how I play games. But who wants to know about that? Who's gaming? You know what I mean? You know, oh no, I can't play Super Mario because I'm having you know, trouble because of work or life or something. You know, or I've got a lot on my mind right now, so you know, I can't really play on PCFX. I don't want to confuse. I shouldn't be confusing the two. I've thought about it long and hard, and I think I want to do another channel which is separate from games. But I don't think that it's right to do it yet. But I don't know. The problem is that I don't want to do vlogs that confuse what my channel is about. At the end of the day, I always had the channel game. You know, my channel. I've always had that as the gaming channel in my mind. My mind's always been focused on the games. Even from video one, everything was the games focused. When I started to consider the chatettes and started to consider what I was doing with those, I considered the process, as I say, was always, this is affecting how I play games. So if it is something not necessarily gaming related, it affects what I do with games. So therefore, it should be said. The problem is that I would get into this kind of conflict in the midst of the video, where I would then start banging on about games to sort of supplement the lack of conversation about games in the chat. So I'd be like, oh yeah, work sucks, and oh, 3DS game. And it annoyed the crap out of me, so I'm sure that it probably has not impressed somebody. I want to make it real clean. I want to make my content real clean. What I mean by that is, I want it to be about the games. I want it to be about the subject matter. As I'm talking to you now, I'm uploading a video. The video is another gameplay. I'm not going to say what it is, but you'll work it out. Basically, that video, towards the end of the video, it's quite obvious that I've run out of things to say. So I start going off on one and going off in a tangent, and that is wrong. Basically, that is really, really wrong. I shouldn't be doing that. And the reality of the situation is that is the honest truth. I ran out of things to say, and that also is wrong. What my mind moves and thinks, like, it's completely free forming. Everything just comes and goes, like, with no real sort of reason or rhyme. I'll be sat, as I'm talking to you now, 4 things flashed through my mind, and 3 of them were to do with what game I want to play after I finish the video. One of them was what I'm going to eat. You know, my mind flashes for these things all the time. I think that's a problem. But obviously, what I want to do is sort of make my channel a bit more coherent. I went through a phase of what can I do that's a bit different, and you've seen one of my videos related to that, presumably the docs video. A bit dumb, but I'll probably do another one because that's how crazy I am. I'm very much about making content that is what I would make, obviously. That is to say, it is going to have mistakes in it, it is going to have craziness in it, it is going to be a bit... But I want it to be watchable in the sense that I want it to have some... I don't want it to be all flickery, stuttery, moving around kind of rubbish. I don't want to make it flappy, basically, as I would describe it. I want to do 2 things. I want to have a gaming channel, and I want to have a channel, another channel, which is basically me doing what I'm doing now. And that is to say, just talking a bit crazy and stuff like that, and just going a bit mental. And just letting some of the stuff that's on my mind come out. Because recently, there's been a lot going on in my life. Good, bad, indifferent. And as self-serving as this sounds, I want to share it. I want to know if there's somebody that's similar to me in the world. Because I think I'm pretty unique, and I think I've been told that, but I've been told that by several people. And I think that it's difficult, sometimes it's difficult for me to express myself in a way that appeals, well, that everyone can connect with or make sense of. So sometimes it's easier to, and it's crazy, but sometimes it's easier to just say something on a video. Sometimes it's easier to just upload something that gets straight to the point, even though that's not necessarily how I do things. So this long rambly vid is not gonna, I'm not gonna go too rambly with it, but suffice to say, there's a lot of things that are going on in my mind, and I want to bring them out. But I want to bring them out in the right way. I want to discuss things and talk about things that matter to me, not just the games. However, I want to do it in a sensible manner. I'm watching, there's a guy who, which I'm sure we're all aware of, Clint at Lazy Game Reviews, LGR. In my opinion, and this sounds a bit back scratchy kind of thing, but in my opinion, he's probably one of the best content producers on YouTube in terms of what he's giving us in terms of entertainment value, and I believe that his stuff is scripted. Without being disrespectful to him, I believe that his stuff is scripted. Although, having said that, he has a very free-form style, which is really nice. To me, it's like he's having a conversation with me, and that is something that I am stoked about. I'm not even going to mention his channel. In fairness, I'm not even going to mention his channel because his channel, he's got tons of subs. I mean, he is doing superbly well, I can imagine. And I don't think my recommendation would mean anything. So I'm not going to say, you all know what I mean. But what I would say is that he deserves what he's got there, in my opinion anyway. And I would like to do something where I have that kind of connection with the viewer. I don't know if that's possible, knowing who I am, but I want to give it a go. So I'm going to start doing vids which are a bit more vloggy in nature, and I'm either going to do one or two things. I'm either going to upload them and put huge disclaimers all over the place, saying this is for this and don't confuse it with the games, or I'm going to do another channel completely and put them in there. There's a lot of things in my mind that I've got to get out somehow. I've got to get, I'm going to get creative by just telling it like it is. Do you agree with that? Is the question. Do you think that I should be doing that? Do you think that the right thing to do is continue doing videos of games and stuff and not worry my little head over these things? I mean, I'm all about trying to do stuff that's going to be, if not brilliant or good even, I want to do something that at least it was different, you know, at least I want someone to turn around and say, well, it didn't sound very good and it was a bit duff and where's the editing and all that, but he's got something there. Or I want someone to turn around and say, well, at least he tried something different. That could be on my headstone. I want to do something where you watch it one way or the other. Basically. So there you go. Anyway, I've babbled on way too much and I'm probably losing focus about what I really want to say. What I want to say is this. I want to make content that is more about me. And I think that the right way to do, and that sounds so self-centered, doesn't it? It sounds so self-righteous. But basically, I want to make, the whole point of the exercise is that I am me, and I want you to see me. I don't want you to see another guy doing the same thing repeated. I want to evolve, and I think the next evolutionary step for me personally is to do content that I feel comfortable with about me. And me is games, so obviously I'm going to continue doing that, but me is also other things. And I think those other things need to be presented in a certain way. And I'm still in my two minds about what I want to do in terms of bringing that information out. But my opinion is this. I would like to do something where I have another channel, and that channel is pretty much me vlogging my ass off. And it's pretty much anything and everything that is involved in my life, not necessarily games, really, to be honest. It's just mainly me. I want to continue doing the games channel because I feel that that's important, and I want to dedicate time to that, but I also want to I want to get things off my chest that I feel would help me feel, well, it made me feel better, but more than anything. So self-centered, so self-righteous, but yeah, there you go. So, give me your thoughts, guys, on what you think is good and what you think is bad about what I've said there. Do you think that sounded a bit mental? Probably, yeah. I want to do something, ultimately I want to spread my wings a little bit, and I don't want to be confined to something which would become ultimately confusing. If I'm doing a games channel, I should be doing a games channel, right? I don't want to do a games channel where I basically talk about the state of the economy or something. Do you know what I mean? Because that loses focus on what the channel's about, which is basically games. And as much as I've tried to bracket things in a very specific way and umbrella things in a very specific way, I think it detracts from the games. And that's ultimately what the priority is for the games channel. So I'd like to do two channels. I'd like to do one about vlogs and one about games. So let me know what you think. And thanks ever so much for listening, guys. If you listen this far, then it means a lot to me, because you have obviously, you obviously give a shit basically, and that is brilliant. I want to say thanks to the people that have jumped on board. The subs that I've got at the moment are moving up very slowly but very steadily, and I'm very pleased about the direction that I'm moving in at the moment. It means a lot to me personally that I've reached a point in time where I've got people that are, there watching. To some extent, I've got a dedicated fan base, which is pretty surprising and unique and special and wonderful and all the good stuff. And I want to be a bit sort of, this is going to sound stupid, but I want to be a bit sort of selfish. I want to sort of say, right, I've got these subs and I want to impress the crap out of them, and I want to make a load more subs come along, and I want to get all, I want to start getting numbers. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the point, right? Much as I want to act clever and and self-righteous. You know, as much as I want to say I'm all about the vids and the content, I love the idea of numbers. Numbers impress me, and the numbers at the moment are very impressive in my opinion. For my channel and for what I do, I am loving it, and I am so grateful, and I want that to continue. So, one way or the other, I'm going to make a channel that's got something for everybody. And I want to maybe do another channel which is more, it's stuff that I wouldn't necessarily say on a gaming channel. And there's a lot of things that I want to say that might sound, there's a lot of things about my personal life that I want to talk about which I feel might not necessarily be fully appropriate on a games channel. They might not necessarily be appropriate anyway. And that's the reason why I want to separate them, because I feel that if there's going to be a lot of potentially negative or potentially curious vibes about my content, I don't want it to detract from the gaming channel, because I feel that the gaming channel is it's my first love. It's something that I'll always come back to. So I don't want to lose focus of that. But maybe that's the wrong idea. Maybe if I just umbrella everything as Chatettes or whatever, then it's all good, right? Let me know what you think. Tell me what your feelings are. Be brutal to me. Tell me the brutal realities of life here, and you know, hopefully we can, hopefully, you know, I can make content that's going to be suitable. Alright guys, have a good one. I really appreciate your time, really appreciate your efforts in subbing, watching, all the usual stuff. I want to say thanks to the people that are making this a worthwhile proposition. If you watched anything on my videos, I've noticed I've been getting comments from people watching my older videos. That means a lot, because my older videos, by comparison to what I'm doing now, are not, in my opinion, not as good. And for someone to have enough about them to watch some of my older stuff, that means huge amounts to me. And as I say, nothing but grateful to all you guys that have subbed. Have a good one, and see you in a bit.